Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is a story of what if Naruto was neglected in a prodigy. What if Naruto's parents never died? What if Naruto had younger siblings? What if Naruto was neglected? Find out the journey of a young boy who is neglected and joins the anbu to make his skills refined. Before we start, thank you for all the support, it really means a lot to me, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and check the description for the creator of this great fanfic. So let's start now.
Cartoon.
Hey guys, I just want to say that I can see you guys like this series so much, but there are many mistakes that the author wrote. I have corrected them for you guys to understand, so it takes more time to make this video compared to other videos, so I'm just asking you to like and subscribe to this channel review. If you like this video, and I have exams this week from the day after tomorrow up to 7 days, it's always kind of exciting because I only read on the day of the exam. The two, when I am traveling in a bus, my exams start at 10 o'clock in the morning I think, and it will be 1.5 hour or 2.5 hour. Currently, I do it simply with other series, but this one is a pain in the ass. I have to check everything even though I miss some. I don't know why the author didn't use Grammarly or some other apps to check mistakes. Man, this editing is such a drag. But I have to do it for you guys cause you all are my family who supports me when I'm not confident enough to post new series of Naruto. Well, and another thing is your review, that is your comments always help me to make more videos, and that, like, oh god, I'm very happy about that too. That's enough about me, let's start the story. Chapter 21. The next day came and Minato was sitting at his desk worrying about his son and blaming himself for his son's death. Then his secretary burst into his room and started stuttering and pointing towards someone who looked like he was fighting a war. Then he slowly came into light and he slowly removed his hood and shocked Minato. It was none other than Deku. Sorry, wrong anime. It is none other than Naruto, and he lived. Minato was shocked as hell and had a lot of questions but kept them aside. For now, he reached him and hugged him tightly. Naruto couldn't breathe and he was turning blue and said, "I can't breath." Naruto choked out. Minato after some seconds released him and asked, "How are you here? How did you survive? Did you escape? Or did you kill everyone?" Naruto told him to calm down, and then he said, "Calm down please, bring my team and Kushina here. I will tell it all at once because I don't want to repeat the story for everyone." Minato summoned his anbu and told them to bring Kushina, Tsunade, and his team. The anbu nodded his head and left to bring them. After 30 minutes everyone came to the office. They saw a hooded figure there but didn't question it. They asked, "Did we get any information on Naruto, brat?" Minato nodded his head and motioned the hooded figure to come forward, and it did. He slowly removed his and again revealed his face, and that was nothing other than Deku. Sorry, not anymore. It was Naruto. Everybody was shocked and happy. Yugao rushed to him and hugged him tight, and he hugged back. She said, "I am so happy that you're alive and well." Itachi and Naruto just fist bumped each other. Shikaku nodded his head and Tsunade crushed him to death and said, "Don't ever do that again or else I would kill you myself." Naruto gulped and nodded. Then Kushina also crushed him and started to say how much she missed him and how much she was concerned. Then the question on everybody's mind came, "How did you survive?" Naruto nodded and answered. Flashback when the team and Tsunade left. Naruto said in his mind, "Great, it's my first mission and now I have to deal with 200 shinobi. Kurama, any suggestions?" Kurama thought and said, "Kid, you can summon Dai, and then you can the secret jutsu that you have been learning, and at the end who all lasted you can take my chakra and end it." Naruto took the suggestion and thanked Kurama and did the hand seals and summoned Dai. Dai asked Naruto, "Naruto, why did you summon me?" Then he saw 200 shinobis there and smirked a bit and said, "Thank you Naruto for bringing. My limbs are going numb for not using them. They would be my warm-up." Naruto nodded. "And Dai is like 800 feet tall, just want to clear it." Naruto did hand seals and shouted, "Wood style, wood dragon jutsu." And a wood dragon emerged from the ground and started to cause havoc. Dai also started his assault and they both nodded their head. Naruto did the hand signs and said, "Wind style, great breakthrough," and Dai D fire style, hellstorm, and shooted hot and dense fireballs which got stronger with the wind breakthrough. 150 was already got killed in the damage caused by the wood dragon and Dai in that attack. 25 were left injured and the rest 25 took cover from the attack. They were in panic mode. They decided to retreat but Naruto got in front of them and said, now you came to kill me and now you are retreating. I can't do that now, can I? The ninja was in horror, but then 20 ninjas got up and said to the rest of the 5 to leave and they obeyed them. The 20 rushed at him and he also rushed at them. Naruto only used pure taijutsu on them. 4 were knocked out and 5 were already killed. A ninja put an explosive tag on a kunai and throws it at Naruto. Naruto caught it in the air and took the tag and placed the tag on the one who threw it at him and said, I think this belongs to you. The shinobi tried to remove it but ran out of time and exploded and took 10 more with him. Only 1 remained were the 4 knocked out and the 5 that left. He killed the 4 with his katana and looked at the setting sun. He took his time defeating all 200 shinobis. Then he decided that he will make the camp here only and try to recover his chakra and his stamina and thought that he would take for Konoha tomorrow. After 2 days he arrived, which was a day later when his team reached. End of the flashback. Everybody in the office's eyes widens at Naruto having dragon summoning contract, killing 195 enemies himself. Naruto looked down and asked in a sad tone, am I a monster? I killed so many people I can see their blood in my hands. Minato quickly engulfed his son in a hug and said, no son, you had to defend yourself and your precious people. I also had some nightmares about killing the ninjas that day. Don't blame yourself, this is a ninja world, we have to kill to survive. Minato patted Naruto's head who was now only sobbing and after some time he calmed down. Minato said, I got the report from your team and you will be paid after some time, so I am giving you a week's break before starting another mission. They nodded and left. Tsunade grabbed his hand and dragged him to the hospital and said, you fought 200 shinobis by yourself, you have to let yourself get checked out. Naruto just nodded his head and let Tsunade get checked out. The whole week went and the friends each other presents and celebrated Naruto's victory. The next week when they entered the Hokage's office to take another mission, they were all shocked at the news that they received, and that was that Naruto got on the bingo book and his name was Dragon God and he was an S-rank ninja. Minato then said, congratulations on being recognized as an S-rank ninja at such a young age, but you need to be more careful as you have a bounty on your head from Iwa. Naruto, I have an offer for you if you want to accept. Naruto thought about it for a minute then nodded his head. Then Minato said and everyone on the team got shocked, but Naruto inside anticipated it a little, but he don't think that he would ask about this before he thought. I want you to join Anbu. I am giving you the whole time of this mission to decide what would be your decision. I don't you to be feel stressed, you can decline it too. Naruto nodded his head and saw Yugao flinch a little, and then he remembered that Yugao had a dream that she wanted to be a head captain of the Anbu. Then he tried to console her because he had some feelings towards her and couldn't express them during the events. She just gave him a fake smile and said, I am okay Naruto, congrats on being in S rank at such a young age. Naruto though just nodded, but inside he could feel his heart breaking apart seeing him in such a state. The mission was that they have to protect a merchandiser from the ninjas of Kumo, Iwa, and Mist. They have to bring him safely back to Suna. They left to go home and pack their stuff and got out and head towards the town where they would start their mission. They got there after 3 hours and saw the merchandiser and they got on. The road was peaceful and Naruto was thinking about the offer that he was offered. Then he asked Kurama for any suggestions. Kurama said, I don't know kid, there are pros like you would get more experience and would likely learn more things and know about some secrets, and cons are that your life would be at risk and you not be able to contact anyone close to you enough. I have given you the pros and cons, now you have to decide. Naruto nodded his head after listening to the pros and cons. They came to a stop as the sun was already setting and they set up the camp and slept there for the night. The next day moved forward to their destination but was stopped by Garen Urin, who was a rank missing nin from Kumo. The team got tensed and Garen asked, brats, let me take me that man and I might let you live. Merchandiser was trembling because he was thinking that the kids would just let him go, but he was proven wrong when Naruto moved forward and said, this is our client and we can't let him go. Then Garen said, too bad, now you have to die. Then he rushed forward and took out his sword and swung at Naruto and at him, but he poofed. That confused Garen but understood that it was a shadow clone. Then he was struck by 3 shurikens but substituted by a tree trunk and attacked Naruto from behind, but Itachi saved him and hit Garen with fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Garen only took 2 fireballs but then he dodged them. Garen landed and Naruto took out his sword and engulfed it with water and lightning chakra nature. Garen was impressed, then he had to dodge a swipe from Yugao, then he and Itachi and Yugao was fighting a kenjutsu battle while Naruto made a few shadow clones. After some minutes of them battling, Naruto shouted now and Yugao and Itachi got aside. Naruto was almost done with his attack but Garen said, "I can easily dodge that." Naruto just smirked and Garen felt heavy, he fell to the ground and he saw some seals. Naruto said, "It is a gravity seal, you can't get out of it since it takes your chakra and make you lose consciousness, but today you will be unconscious for the rest of the time." Naruto shouted, "Combination style, vapor burning jutsu," and shot a water lightning wave towards Garen. It burned him very badly and only his head could be identified. They cut off his head and put it on a sealing scroll. The merchandiser threw up, then after that they took off to Suna. It took them 1.5 days to reach there. The merchandiser signed the scroll, which was that he safely reached his destination. Then they took off back to Konoha. Naruto just summoned his dragon and they flew most of the time. It took them 8 hours to reach Konoha. They first reached the Hokage office to give their report and they knocked on the door and a voice said, "Come in." They entered and Minato was shocked and checked them clearly and asked, "How did you all came here so fast? Did the client died?" He was cut off by Naruto, who gave the report of the mission and took out Garen's head as proof. Minato was shocked at first but he remembered that his son has defeated 200 Jonins and Chunins. Then he said, "We came here so fast because of my dragon summoning." Minato nodded his head and then Naruto answered the question before it was even asked. "Yes, I will join and I want to be known as Dragon." Chapter 22. Minato nodded his head and told, "Okay, you all will get a part of the bounty on Garen and Naruto. You come here tomorrow and I'll give you your mask and dress and then I will give you the place where the Anbu headquarters are, then you would go and start your journey, Dragon." They nodded and left. Naruto asked them, "Wanna join me at Ikiraku's? I am hungry." Itachi shrugged and followed and Yugao said, "I am a little busy but you continue." Itachi and Naruto both saw the sadness in her eyes but left to have ramen. The next day Naruto got to the Hokage's tower and then he got to the office and knocked on the door and a voice came, "Come in," and he entered. Then Minato noticed it was Naruto and he greeted him and he nodded his head. Then Minato gave him the dress uniform of Anbu and a mask in which the dragon was engraved and he took and changed it very quickly. Minato gave him a slip and he took it and his body flickered out of there and got to the destination and saw a dog Anbu there and he recognized him as Kakashi Senpai. He greeted and Kakashi just nodded and took him to the underground base and the rest of the Anbu were shocked. They were shocked because he was short compared to the others and they thought, how can a little brat come here? How does he have a mask of a leaf? Kakashi and Naruto saw all the looks but shrugged them off and Kakashi continued showing Naruto around and where he might sleep if he chooses. After some hours Minato came there and announced the newcomer dragon. The Anbu commander knew who the dragon was because he only requested him to join. Then he said, "Hokage-sama, if you don't mind, we would like to test his skills to see in which team we should put him." Minato nodded and Naruto moved forward on the ring and 2 elite Anbu came. The commander said, "Don't worry about losing or winning, we only see your skills and choose to put on what team you are in." Naruto nodded and understood it. Then the match started. The 2 Anbu rushed and Naruto just stood there. Everybody was confused and Minato just smirked and the 2 Anbu cut him but he poofed and Naruto came from beneath and did the earth style headhunter jutsu. Then the Anbu was going to come out but their paper bombs were down and the Anbu that was down was knocked out and his legs were burned a little and the Anbu that was up was sent flying off. Then Naruto did the lightning style flash step. He came above the Anbu and slammed a Rasengan on his gut which knocked him out. The commander was impressed and he expected it and the other Anbus except Kakashi were extremely shocked that a kid have defeated 2 elite Anbu. Then the commander said, he would on Team Hunter. Dragon, congratulations, you are now officially an Anbu and you would go on the missions after you read the rules and can communicate with others in our secret language. Naruto nodded and everyone was shocked because a rookie was in the strongest Anbu team. Naruto got to learn the things he needed to do. Naruto learned all the things within a day because of his Rinnegan. He and his team were summoned to the office and they got their mission, which was to capture or kill Orochimaru, who had fled from the village and had become a Rouge ninja. They left and packed all there as fast as they could. They left the gates and rushed out of the village. They rushed for a day and saw Orochimaru at a camp he set. They saw a baby approximately 3 years old and she was a girl with red hair. Naruto didn't know what, but he could feel she is his family, but he couldn't know who it is. The captain in the secret language said, "Dragon on right and parrot on left and crow on behind, and I would be at the front." They nodded their head and got to their position. They were waiting for their captain to give them a signal, and after a few minutes they got the signal and they attacked. They entered the camp and they saw paper bombs lighting up and their eyes widened, but Naruto did hand signs on time and a wooden dome protected all of them. The Anbu captain nodded his head in acknowledgement and they continued catching Orochimaru. After a few minutes they caught up and Orochimaru cursed himself and thought, "I was sure that someone must be hurt and I could escape." Then he saw there were 5 normal anbu and 1 shorter anbu. He stopped and thought that he is a Sannin and that he could take care of them and be on his way and he don't have to worry about the rest of the journey. As soon as he stopped, all anbu dropped to the ground and got to their fighting stances. Orochimaru chuckled a little and said, "Look what we've got here, anbus from a leaf. I knew they were going to send some anbus, but I didn't think they would send 5 anbus and a kid. Are they underestimating me? I am freaking Sannin. And no one knows the strongest or weakest team other than Anbu and Hokage." Orochimaru got on his snake stance and rushed at the parrot and tried to knock out him unconscious fast, but the parrot dodged it and sliced Orochimaru in half. It turns out to be a mud clone and he emerged from the ground behind the dragon and tried to cut him, but he was sent flying back by an almighty push, but he didn't hear the attack's name. He was confused as to how he was sent flying back, but he recovered fast and attacked again but was stopped by the captain. They got into a kenjutsu battle and Naruto made shadow clones and waited for the moment. Then as soon as they were ready and he did earth style, body binding jutsu. His shadow clones did fire style, fire dragon, and wind style, wind bullet. Orochimaru was blinded and he was shocked that he was captured so easily, and then he saw the 2 attacks coming at him. Then there was a fire blaze at the place. After a few seconds, they saw shredded skin. They got on their guard and Orochimaru got behind Crow and caught him off guard and knocked him out. The captain rushed at him and Naruto did the hand signs and did wood style, 4-pillar prison. Everyone there was shocked by the Anbus because they do not know any of the skills in Orochimaru because of the wood style that Naruto possesses. Then he thought about the child that survived his experiments but got his thoughts out because the child should be older than the Anbu. He is a different person who awakened Muton. I would like to have his body but I don't have time. Then he summoned a large snake and broke the prison. Orochimaru thought, "Shit. I can't bring the child to experiment, but it doesn't matter as I can come back later for her." Then the snake swallowed Orochimaru and dug a hole and left. The Anbu captain was pissed inside but hid it very well and said, "We've failed the mission, let's go back to the village and report the Hokage." They nodded, but before they left Dragon stopped them and said, "I can't just leave a child here." The captain sighed and said, "Dragon, it is not our duty to keep her safe." Naruto looked sadly at the child but a light bulb lit up when he said, "Orochimaru was kidnapping a child. There must be a reason he chose to kidnap her. What if we take her to Hokage? She must have a special ability to catch Orochimaru's eyes." The captain saw a glint in Dragon's eye but he accepted it nonetheless and they took the kid and left. Throughout the way, Naruto asked the kid some questions like, "What is your name? Where do you live? Do you have parents? Where are they?" She answered, "My name is Karen Uzumaki." They all were shocked that there was Uzumaki left after the destruction of Uzu. Then she continued, "I don't. Where did I live? I didn't know any of my parents. I lived in an orphanage." They nodded and said, "Don't worry kid, we will save you." She nodded and they reached the village the day after they gave the report and Minato was shocked that there was another Uzumaki left and he took the kid his home. He introduces Karen to everyone and they introduce them to Karen. Naruto was happy for Karen and continued his Anbu work. Time skip 3 years. Dragon is summoned in front of the new Anbu members. They were none other than I. Cliffhanger no jutsu. Just kidding. To edit up to this point now it took me 45 minutes just to clear grammatical mistakes. I think even my teacher wouldn't think I am this much good at English anyway. I'll continue for you guys. Chapter 23. The dragon was summoned in front of his new Anbu members. They are none other than Izuku Midoriya. Ha, got you there. You thought it was Itachi but it was Izuku. He has traveled to another dimension to be an Anbu. No, I am kidding, it is none other than Ida. Sorry, not more of this. It is none other than Itachi Uchiha and Yugao Azuki. They would do the test and it will decide which team they would be. Naruto was in his uniform so Itachi and Yugao didn't recognize him. He said, "Get in positions." Their 4 anbu came and got in their positions and Itachi and Yugao got in their respective stances. The match started and the anbu rushed at them. They both nodded to each other and they did fire style. Fire dragon roar and wind style. Wind Scythe did a lot of damage and knocked out 3 anbus and 1 was left. They took out their swords and vanished and appeared. The anbu was in between and Itachi was in front holding his sword at the throat and Yugao did the same but at back. Dragon nodded his head and said, they would be on a team. Dog nodded his head and showed them around and gave them their code names which were Amu and Cat. They were given their anbu gear and they learned the rules and the sign language. While they were learning they asked the dog if anyone there was named Naruto. He nodded and said, you should ask Commander Dragon, he should tell if he wanted to. They nodded and left for his office. And they forgot his anbu name, that is why they can't identify Naruto. They came to the office and knocked at the door and a voice came, come in. They entered and saw the commander and his shadow clones doing paperwork and he looked like he was not enjoying it a bit. He said, why the hell did I take this? Then he remembered that someone was there. He then cleared his throat. He asked, may I ask why you two are here? Aren't you two supposed to learn the rules and sign language? They nodded but the cat said, we are here because we want to see our friend Naruto. He is also an anbu member. We just wanted to see him as we didn't saw him in a year. Dragon nodded and said, usually I would not allow this, but are you sure you want to meet him? They were confused but nodded there. Then the commander slowly removed his mask and it was none other than Nezu. Sorry, that's wrong, it is none other than Naruto. They were shocked that he is the commander, etc. Their eyes are widened and their jaw dropped. Then Yugao pointed and asked, Naruto, I is T that you? How did you become T the CC commander? Itachi was thinking the same. Naruto chuckled and said, Yugao, this is me, and as to how I became the commander. Flashback: 1 year Naruto was summoned in front of Hokage and the commander at Hokage's tower. He came and kneeled and greeted them. They nodded their head and told him to stand up. Captain of Team Hunter, I am about to retire from Anbu and I want someone to take my place. Naruto nodded and Naruto became the captain of Team Hunter after a year because he was way ahead in skills than other members of the team. And the commander continued, I want you to be the youngest commander because you are way ahead than anyone else. You have already learned the Flying Thunder God, which itself is deadly. But you are very good at everything. So would accept it. Naruto was shocked that he is being offered the position of commander. Then he remembered his goal and if he can achieve his goal by doing this then he would this. He said, I accept it. I am honored that you chose me. Commander just laughed and said, you've earned it, Dragon. Naruto just bowed down and Minato said, Dragon, tomorrow we would announce this on the base. Naruto nodded and flashed away. Flashback end. That's how I became the commander and that is why I couldn't come to meet you as I was busy with this. Showing the paperwork on the desk and he said, even if I am the commander I will not be partial with you. All the rules will apply for you both. They nodded and respected that as they also don't want any partiality. They got back to learning the rules and the sign language. After they learned all the things they left to do their first mission and it went well. They got back and reported it to the commander and he had more which he cursed about. But they continued their lives. Naruto started using wood and shadow clones to do his paperwork while he do training and other things. He started to try to combine Chidori and Rasengan. He also tried to make Flying Thunder God level 3. He improved in seals and was 9 seal level and when he does 10 then he would be a certified seal master. He also started learning Sage mode. Then he discovered that he can have 2 Sage modes. The first is Dragon Sage mode and the second is a Wood Sage mode. He was honestly shocked about it when he learned about it. Kurama also forgot to tell him. His relations with Yugao also got better and after months of courage he asked her out and she did not agree. Ha, again got you. She agreed and said, finally. You Buffon, I was waiting for this for years. They went on a date at the barbecue and they enjoyed their time and when they were going back they finally kissed each other. It lasted for good 5 seconds. They enjoyed it but it was to be cut short when Yugao had Anbu work and Naruto had to do his work. They did not do anything in Anbu headquarters but when they were not wearing their masks. Naruto learned the Dragon Sage mode after a year. He had small dragons under him and his eyes were black and had small white dots in them. The issues between Uchiha and the village began to rise and Minato and the commander tried to warn them but Fugaku did not agree to the terms. Then Itachi came up with an excellent plan that his friend Shisui Uchiha had a Mangekyo Sharingan and that he can cast a very difficult to break genjutsu, and Naruto represented this idea to the council. Danzo tried to object, saying that they can be trusted, but the council outvoted him. Naruto saw this and he started personally guarding Shisui against a distance until the day of the meeting because he don't trust Danzo a bit. The day before the meeting Shisui was attacked and Naruto saw the Root Anbu members attacking Shisui. Then Danzo came there and he said, "You don't deserve the Sharingan, I will use it wisely." He was going to plug out Shisui's eye, but Naruto stopped him and cut his hand clean off. Danzo started screaming and Naruto said, "Danzo Shimura, you tried to kill a leaf shinobi and an anbu which is under my care, what do you have to say about this?" Danzo saw the commander and gritted his teeth and said, "He doesn't deserve the Sharingan, I will use it wisely. Uchiha clan cannot be changed, they have to be killed." Commander under his mask was pissed and said, "You don't have any right to decide what is their fate. You should have given them a chance, now you have paid for your crimes." Danzo laughed and said, "Even if you are the commander, you can't handle all the Root Anbu alone." Naruto just smirked under his mark and make a wood clone, and it touched Shisui and they vanished in a orange flash. They went to Tsunade because Naruto want to confirm if Shisui, and they found poison in Shisui, and Tsunade quickly got to her work. While this was going on, Naruto had started his battle with the Root Anbu. He sliced and diced everywhere, then he jumped back and thought, "They are too much, I think it is the best time to do this. The last time I did this it hurt like hell, but this time I will enter Sage mode." Then he entered the Dragon Sage mode and made 2 shadow clones and they started to make the Chidogan. Naruto had accomplished it, he has successfully merged both Chidori and Rasengan. And I will call it Chidogan until you give me a better name. Then he rushed at the Root of Anbu members and smashed it on a member, and when it smashed it covered the whole area with lighting and killed the members inside the area. It happened because he was in Sage mode, but otherwise it would knock them out. Danzo saw this and gritted his teeth and ordered more of his Anbu to attack while he was fleeing back. Naruto saw this and activated his Rinnegan and did a universal pull, and Danzo came flying to Naruto. Naruto created the chakra rods and pinned him down with them. It was taking a very bit of chakra from Danzo while Naruto was fighting the Root members. Naruto did his new combination style, Dragon's Roar. It made water, lightning, and fire dragon, and they merged and attacked the Root members. He saw over half of the Roots were killed, then he saw that he have to finish it fast, then he did the impossible, he combined the Wood Sage mode and Dragon Sage mode. There was a circle and point inside it, it was at his forehead, then he had 2 dragons under his eyes and there were also 2 lines connecting each other. His eyes were black with white dots in them. Naruto could feel like he is a powerhouse and that he can never run out of chakra. Then he tried to make a normal Rasengan, but it came out as bigger and denser. With this newfound power, he rushed at the rest that was left and finished them off. It was a total of 500 Root Anbu members that he killed, and they burned their bodies themselves as part of the rule they had to follow. He then took Danzo and flashed to the office and threw him to the floor. Minato saw this and said, "Report," in a serious tone, and Naruto nodded and started from the beginning at how Danzo Root members attempted to attack Shisui, and then Danzo came and tried to pluck out Shisui's eyes. Then he stopped him and asked why he did this, and he said that Uchiha can't be trusted and some rubbish. Then they fight and he had 500 Root Anbu undercover from Hokage. Then he said, "I think Danzo has much more hidden secrets that I think we should know. We should tell Inoichi to read his mind." Minato nodded and Naruto flashed away. Thanks for listening, I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.